Hello, hello.
Welcome to the Growing in Grace podcast, day number 1. We're your hosts, Faith
and Emily, and we're so excited to get to know each and every one of you through this podcast.
And I'm going to start with introductions today. So my name is Faith, if you don't already know me. I just finished my sophomore year in college. I go to Back Mountain Harvest in Pennsylvania, and I'm getting married in October. How exciting.
Woo woo. Well, my name is Emily. I am in Bible college. I am a cat mom, and I am a proud cat mom because she is my fur baby, my fur child. She acts like a child, and you know what? That's okay because I love her. And I also just got back from West Virginia, which was a great experience for me.
Yeah, she was gone for an entire month. She left me for an entire month. So now we're going to get into just how we met and how this all started. Actually, earlier asked me, wait, how did we even meet? I don't remember. So I'm going to tell the story.
I will listen like the audience.
So we were at a young adults group within our church. So I think the age range is like 1835, maybe. But so yeah, we were at a young adults event at my old youth pastor's house. And, getting into the word, it was close to the end of the night. My youth pastor, well, his wife was like, hey, this girl, she's around your age. Why don't you go talk to her? Because I was looking for Christian friends. I didn't have many of those at that time. And so I sat next to Emily, and we were just getting to know each other, ask each other a couple questions, like how old we are, if we go to school, how we came to our church, Back Mountain Harvest. And then I was like, hey, you should give me your phone number and let's go hang out sometime. And she was totally down. She was like, yeah, of course, definitely. So that's kind of how we met. So yeah, anyways, how did we get this all started and why?
Well, we got this all started because we were talking about something, and one of us was like, oh my gosh, we should start like a podcast or something. And then you were like, we should actually start it. And I was down.
Yeah.
So we did it. And here we are.
I think the conversation was we were talking about a funny video that we made. And you were like, yeah, my one friend told me that I should start a podcast because all my videos are really funny. And I said, no way. I've always wanted to do a podcast, so let's do it. And then you agreed.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of like left it at that. And then I was like, wait, what's stopping us from actually doing this? And you're like, nothing. So then we were like, okay, let's jot down some ideas and get this ball rolling pretty much.
We're like a week in. Like, we really got the ball rolling.
Oh, yeah.
All thanks to this girl, because I probably would not have gotten the ball rolling that fast.
Don't hurt the plants. But we also wanted to do this for a greater purpose. Growing in faith has been definitely a journey together. We've grown closer to not only each other, but to the Lord throughout this whole process, which has definitely been a blessing. Emily has been such a big blessing in my life, like to the point where she doesn't understand. Like, she has been such a big blessing to me. And she's probably one of my closest friends. She is my closest Christian friend.
Aww.
And so it's so good to have her around all the time. And yeah, so we just continue to grow together.
She has been a blessing to me as well, because when I first fully gave my heart to the Lord, like, I didn't have any Christian friends. I had no idea what I was doing. And then, we met,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also met this other friend.
Yeah.
And shout out this other friend. You know who I'm
You know who you are,
you know
girl.
Who you are. But so they were my first two. Actually, no, I had other Christian friends, but that was like before I gave my heart to the Lord. Hang on.
Rewind.
Bring it back. My first Christian friend from the church.
Yes, there
we go. She's helped me grow in my faith, I'd say. Of course, the Lord was there, but she's helped me, and yeah, you've just been always there for me, and I appreciate it.
Love you.
I love you too.
Guys, we've been friends for probably less than a year.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy how close the Lord has brought us together. Even with her going away to Virginia for that time, like, dedicating those phone calls, those text messages, those really funny voice notes, or whatever they may have been during that time. Like,
We just
our
been giggling.
friendship, yes, our friendship has been so important. And, dedicating that time to each other, but also the Lord, has been such a significant part. And so, another reason that we wanted to do this podcast, though, was not only to grow our friendship and to have fun and have a great time, but to help others as well. Because we realized that as we're having certain deep conversations about God and about Jesus and how his love has been in our life, we were like, we want to share that with others as well. And throughout these struggles that we've had, we want to let other people know, other teens and young adults that, may be listening, that you are not alone in these struggles. You are not singled out in these things that you're experiencing. And we wanted to be able to be those big sisters in Christ, to be able to help you, to give you advice, for you to know that we're also going through the same things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, talking about it and being able to express what we're feeling, but to also draw it back to the Lord and to know that his love casts out all of our fear and our worries and our anxieties, that there's a greater purpose for us and for you. So, to
And
share his love.
he's
Yeah.
always there too. Like, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And he's proven that to me multiple times. I know, okay, you know me. I struggle with like fully letting people in. So
Mhm.
like time after time after time, he's proven to me. He doesn't even have to prove it to me, but he has, cuz he just knows me so well,
Yeah.
that he's not going anywhere and that I can trust him. And that just shows how much he truly loves us.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, like, so many people, especially young teens and young adults, they see the struggles that they're going through or the hardships that they're going through, and then they give up. Or they're like, why would the Lord put me through something like this? When during that time, it's so important to raise your hands a little bit higher, to praise a little bit more, to pray a little bit more, because these these struggles will produce endurance and character, and it'll bring you closer to the Lord overall. So, like, dedicating that time is so important through the struggles that you go through.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I always say, if you're only eating on Sundays, you're starving yourself.
that's true. I need a good meal every day, because your girl gets hangry.
We're not talking about food here.
I have to pee.
Let's just get into it now.
Yeah.
Guess what happened?
What?
Okay, so I was on the phone with my mom before I came back,
Mhm.
and Lou, which is my sister's cat, he came up and he said meow, and I said meow back. And it's funny because every single time that like he meows at me when I'm home, I'll meow back at him. It's
Yeah.
like our thing.
Little cat mom.
Yeah, I'm a feline attractor.
Okay. Anyways, back to what we were saying.
I like this position.
You comfy yet?
Yeah,
You sure?
kind of.
Not really.
It'll get there.
You'll
It'll
get
get there.
All right.
It'll just take a couple turns, is
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. You're good. You're good.
It's okay.
We are back from my break. And I guess her dance break. I don't know what happened while I was gone.
Only the viewers will know.
So we wanted to get into our testimonies. I have my phone because I wanted to bring up the official definition of a testimony for those who don't know what that is. In a biblical context, a testimony is a personal declaration or narrative that an individual shares to publicly affirm their faith and relationship with God. So that often means like a story, just how you came to Christ, how maybe he saved you, what your aha moment was with you and the Lord. And I think Emily's going to start us off with that.
Okay. So, my journey with God. So, when I first came to the Lord, I didn't fully come to the Lord. I was definitely just lukewarm, and I thought I was with the Lord, but I was really just creating my own God, which was not, you know. So one time I was in Barnes Nobles with some of my old friends, and we were just walking around, we were looking at books, and I saw the Bible section in the book, and I was like, why do I want to get a Bible right now? And I didn't understand it. I
Mhm.
was like, I don't know. But I ended up getting it. But that's when I was lukewarm. I wasn't fully I didn't fully give my heart to the Lord yet, okay? But I would pick the Bible up every so often. But while I was lukewarm, I created a false god in my head. And, well, that's not okay, right? And then, well, so I went through some phases. During this last phase I went through, I got really depressed. Like, it got really dark.
Yeah.
And I remember I just sat on my bed and I just was crying. Could not stop bawling my eyes out. And I
Mhm.
just prayed. I just talked to the Lord. I quite literally cried out to the Lord.
Yeah.
And then I felt his peace. Like, I just felt just an overwhelming amount of his peace and his joy, and it's like it was the Holy Spirit filling. And
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about it, it was literally the Holy Spirit like filling me.
Yeah.
Cuz it literally, like, if I'm okay, it was like
Yeah.
okay, just like
Yeah.
that. I can't explain it any other way. It was like
It's like
that.
a wave, a
Yes.
waterfall of peace.
Yes, and it
Yeah.
went through my entire body,
Yeah.
right? Now don't get me wrong, when you first come to Christ, like, you're going to have struggles still, but it's amazing because the Lord knew I was struggling, so he needed to fill me with his peace before he broke me down
Yeah.
and tear down my walls that I thought was the right thing.
Mhm.
So that happened.
Yeah.
And then I opened my heart to the Lord, of course. And then the next day, that's when I fully started doing things. I fully started reading my Bible. I fully started going to church every week. I was fully like praying with the Lord like every single day. Like, I fully immersed myself
Yeah.
in with the Lord in that moment. And ever since then.
Yeah.
Right.
Girl, that is an amazing
And
testimony.
I think that I have miniature testimonies that creates one big testimony
Mhm.
throughout like everything he's done, but there's just so much he's done for me that I count them all as testimonies.
Yeah.
And I just want to get into all of it right now. Like, I love it so much.
Yeah.
But
So, that's great. I love that for you.
I
I'm so
love
glad Jesus
Jesus.
worked in your heart. So, for me, my testimony also is made up of just a whole bunch of like small stories that eventually combine into one big one. But my first ever encounter with the Lord was when I was about, I think, 14. Yeah, it was around just getting into high school, I believe. I never grew up Christian. I didn't grow up Catholic, and it just wasn't a faith filled household. You have to keep that in mind when I'm sharing these stories as well. So we moved to this house that I'm currently at, and we started going to this church. My testimony is also part of my mother's. We were going to church. We just started. I didn't really know if I believed in God, what this was supposed to be, or how I was supposed to feel in a way, although feelings aren't from the Lord.
Shake it off, girl.
Yeah, shake them out, shake those out. But at that time, that's what it was. It was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Like, what is this supposed to be?
Yeah.
But I started reading my Bible every now and then. I'd pick it up and be like, okay, yeah, sure, this is cool, I guess. Cool to learn about. Started going to youth group, and then my mom's friend had passed away. She passed away, and she was really close with me and my family. She was like an aunt to me, but like one of those cool aunts that was like almost like a sister, like right there with you all the time. She was always there. And what happened was I was just in a really dark place. As a growing teen, sometimes you get really depressed and you don't know how to handle those feelings. You don't know what to do with those dark thoughts. So I wasn't in a good place at all. And I was kind of doing it all by myself because I thought I had to. And so I wasn't in a good spot. But I started to pray because I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this out because I feel like I have nothing left. Mind you, this was 14-year-old Faith. Like, she didn't know what she was doing, but she decided to call upon the Lord, and He heard me. So I prayed just, I need to say goodbye to her. I need to say goodbye to her. I didn't get to say goodbye. And I was just bawling my eyes out because I missed her and I loved her so much. And that night, I had a dream that I was searching through this household, and there was a hallway filled with doors, and there was a door at the end of the hallway. And I went to the end of the hallway at the last door, and I opened it and I saw her there. But I quick turned around in my dream and I was like, no, it couldn't be. It can't be. But then I heard my name being called, and I turned around and it was her kneeling down with her arms open. I ran to her and she gave me a big hug and she said goodbye in the dream. I'm gonna cry, but
right now.
but like that was my first moment with the Lord, and when I woke up, I was just like, oh my goodness, the Lord heard my cries, and He came down from His holy mountain, and He heard me. He heard me, and that was my first ever experience with the Lord when I was like, wow, He's real. This is crazy. Like,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm so sorry that you lost your aunt / sister.
Yeah. But she was always a follower of Christ. She is the one, obviously, from the Lord. She is the one who put those little seeds of faith into my mom, who put it into us. And that's why we started going to church. So,
I love that.
yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. There's always that one person that, like,
to sow those seeds.
My uncle was that for me. When I was going through one of these phases, I was explaining to him one of these phases. He basically told me that I was creating a false god. Like, he called me out for it. So, like, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
He called me out for it. He's like, you're creating a false god. And he's like, read the entire Bible and come back to me. But in, like, a loving way.
Yeah.
And that knocked me down. Like, really knocked me down. And
Yeah.
that's when I got depressed. But then that's when I found the Lord.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's so crazy how the Lord uses certain people in our lives that sometimes we don't even expect that are sowing those seeds, or that when we have to humble ourselves and like be checked in order to realize that we need the Lord. But when you humble yourself before the Lord and you seek Him and seek His forgiveness, then it's like, oh wow, what is this feeling? What is this emotion that I'm going through? What is this? Who is God? Like, you start to question and realize that there's something more powerful than you. And there's someone you can turn to when you don't want to talk to anybody.
And He's always there. He's literally with us.
Exactly.
Like, we invited Jesus in this room. So actually, I have to tell you something.
Do it.
I don't know if I told you this. I think I might have wanted to wait to tell you on the podcast.
Wait, what?
Wait, this is crazy. I feel like we're gonna just keep things from each other to get each other's reactions now. Okay, I might have told you this. I don't remember.
Okay.
A while ago, a couple months ago, we were in church and we were worshiping. But do you know, like, when we're like in the middle of worship, sometimes like we'll have like prayer or like someone will talk.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like, Holy Spirit, like, come into this, you know?
Yeah.
So like we were in the middle of one of those like prayers or whatever it was, and I was, or maybe it was just me praying. I could have just been praying during worship. I'm not sure. But I remember because my eyes were closed and I was like, and I saw, it was a vision. Like, and I know the Lord put it in me, but it's like from the back of the room, it was like kind of like a light beam that just flooded through the entire sanctuary.
Oh wow.
And I saw that.
Yeah.
And when it happened, when it went through me, I felt like the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Like I got spirit tingles.
Oh yeah, so when we have an overwhelming feeling of the Lord and we feel his presence, or when we're sharing a story and we get like those goosebumps, we call those spirit tingles because we know it's the Lord, and yeah, that's what we call them.
Yes, I love it. So that was my first encounter of a vision,
Yeah.
right? And then I was like, okay, maybe he was just trying to like talk to me. Maybe I just saw wrong, you know. I was like
Yeah.
my flesh was trying to second guess myself, you know.
Right.
And then there was another instance
Mhm.
where I was praying with my one friend. When she watches this, she's gonna know who she is.
Yeah.
But I was praying with my one friend, and we invited Jesus when we were praying. Like, she literally was like, Jesus, like, please be with us while we're praying. Like, you are welcome here, like, while we're praying. And I didn't see space.
Mhm.
I saw a light and like a figure.
Yeah.
But it was so like this was me and this was my friend. It was a figure of him like in the middle of us, and he had one hand on her and one hand on me, and he was like bowing, like he was like praying with us.
Oh wow.
Okay, and I know it was Jesus because I just know.
Yes.
Like I just had that like it's like he was, you know?
Mhm.
And then there was another thing because I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool." Because then that time the Lord really started opening up my eyes, and he was like really showing me like this is me, right? So then the other day, on Friday, before like a couple days before I left West Virginia, we could do this thing called Street Church. It's where me, my Uncle Johnny, and like some of like my Uncle Johnny's friends, and they have like a fire, and we invite people to come up. Like they have food made. They're like, "Oh, come on up and eat," and like, and we try to like share the gospel, right? And we just like hang out, you know. And the last Friday, we were praying for this friend again. It was Uncle Johnny, this friend, and me. Now we were praying, and this was for my friend. We were praying for my friend.
Yeah.
And we were all bowed down, and I saw Jesus. I believe it was Jesus again, but he had his hands behind this friend, and he had them on this person's shoulders.
Yeah.
And it's like he was bowing down with us again.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy to me. And like that like really came to my mind. So then of course I asked my uncle because you know I wanted to get his opinion. And I was like, can the Lord speak to you through like visions? And I explained like what I just explained to you. And he's like, well, I mean, I believe you. I think the Lord can do anything.
Yeah.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah, that is.
I get
amazing.
scared when I explain that to people. I get scared they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're lying. Like that didn't happen."
Yeah.
But like I know it happened, and the Lord knows it happened, so I really don't care what any other people think.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
I just think that's really cool.
It is.
Did I tell you that?
You did not tell me that.
Okay.
So surprise!
Happy birthday!
It's not my birthday, guys. But yeah, that is so cool. I feel like the Lord literally speaks to people through so many different ways. It could be through dreams, it could be through visions, it could be through other people, could be through other people's visions. It literally nothing is out of bounds, out of limits for our God. And that is what is so amazing. It's like, don't ever doubt him.
Never.
No.
Because he will prove you wrong.
Yeah.
If you have any doubt, he's like, no. Like for example,
like let me prove you wrong real quick.
This one time I was working and I thought that I did so I'm a server and I made a certain amount of money, and I was like, oh, I probably only made like this much money because it was a slow day. And I counted my money in the back, and there was $1 more, and the Lord's like, you thought. You thought.
Like, actually, the Lord has a sense of humor, let me tell you.
For real.
But the Lord has such a funny sense of humor sometimes, like with your story. Like, what do you mean $1 more? Okay, Lauren. Okay, Lauren. I get it.
Like, don't doubt me.
Yeah,
Don't
doubt.
do it.
Don't doubt me. Come on now. You know better than that.
I started giggling on my way back in. I was like,
Yeah.
that sounded so fake. But I was like giggling, and like, it's funny because my coworkers was like, and that's crazy too.
Mhm.
Like my one friend, my one coworker that
Mhm.
does not have a relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what are you laughing at? And I was like, and I explained it to them what I was laughing at.
Yeah.
And it's like ways that like God will be like, oh, but like you're actually gonna plant a seed here.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you sometimes won't even realize you're planting seeds. Like, it doesn't even have to be intentional all the time. Like, there's this girl I was telling you the other day, because I was like, oh, we were just talking about our day. She's a little younger than me. If she watches this, she'll know who she is. Love you, girl. Um, she's really sweet, really kind, and we were just talking, chatting about our days, about what's going on. I was explaining to her that I have finals and everything, and I expressed to her that I was starting a podcast. And she said she's really happy for me, really excited, and she asked me what it was about. And I said, well, it's to help, teens and young adults to hopefully come closer to Christ, and just sharing our experiences, and to let people know that they're not alone in their struggles. And she's like, well, count yourself an extra follower, because I may not have a relationship with Christ, but I'd be so interested in listening. And I was like, yes! Yes!
Yes! I don't know you, but I love you.
So before, you were talking about how you went through different phases, and how there's a lot of stories reaching up to one big one as your whole testimony. And I shared a story, but I also wanted to share another one. So when I was really little, I got diagnosed with scoliosis. I believe that was about age 5. My mom found it. I went to many doctors. I was put into a back brace where I had like 3 big straps on the front. I went through 2 of the hard shell braces that would go on my full body. I had to wear those. I was supposed to wear them to school. I did for a little bit, but it got so uncomfortable. And then I ended up going to New York, and it was like a strap-on Velcro one that would twist me in all different directions. But I use that as a part of my testimony as well, because God has perfect timing. Like we were discussing before, like God's timing is so perfect. And I'll be honest with you, there were times during those treatments, or during those doctor's appointments, or going to all the way to Danville, or even like the deformalities that I had because of it. My ribs were uneven, and all of the other things that you struggle with as a teen girl, like visually, when you're comparing yourself to others. And I was going through all of that. But at the same time, it helped me be more modest. And the thing is, if I didn't have scoliosis, I would not be as close to the Lord as I am. And I wouldn't be as modest as I choose to be. And that's for many reasons. Not just because I was insecure about how I looked, but because the Lord was showing me, this is something big that I'm bringing you through. And you don't understand it yet, but there's a greater purpose for this. There's a greater reason for this. I feel that through a lot of the things that I've experienced when having scoliosis, mind you, I have had my surgery for about probably almost 4 years now. It's still been a process, it's still been a journey. But through that whole process of not understanding why I'm going through something, not understanding why the Lord chose me out of all of my siblings to have this, it was a moment of, God, why did you do this? But I'm going to lean on you anyways when I don't understand. And I'll tell you what, those times where I was doubting, those times where I was fearing, those times where I lacked that confidence, it was such an eye-opening experience to turn to the Lord And for the Lord to be like, but let me show you love that the world is not going to give you. Let me show you a fatherly love so you don't have to compare yourself to everyone else. He's like, let me show you forgiveness. Let me show you compassion and understanding when you don't feel like anyone else understands. He understands us better than anyone else could even come close to it. That's why when we're saying like those spirit tingles things, it's because we can't describe it. His love, it's so undescribable that it's like, it's undescribable. It's like
His love is undescribable because God is love and we can't put a face to God.
Exactly. Yes. Because like the Lord is so good. And even when we don't understand while we're going through something, whether that be depression, whether that be anxiety or comparison or trusting in things that we shouldn't or making false idols, all of those things, like the Lord still loves you anyways. It's like the Lord is just continuously providing. And even when we don't understand when we're going through something, when you get to that end result, you're like, oh, that's why. There's this really funny meme, which I'll probably add. And it's like, what? Why am I going through this? I can't believe this. And it's like, oh, that's why. It's like sometimes you don't understand why you're going through something until that end result happens. And the Lord's like, I got it under control. Let me take this for you.
And he just proves it every single time.
Exactly, because his timing is perfect with it too. It's like he will show you in the most random moments. Like, trust me,
He will
I got
grow
this.
a field of flowers for you.
I love that.
Oh, he's such a girl dad too. I love it. Sorry, he's such a girl dad.
Yes. You know, that reminds me of the picture that it's like, and with what I just said, that so a little girl's holding a stuffed bear, and then God, Jesus, whoever is in the picture, is holding a bigger, giant stuffed bear, and she doesn't want to let hers go, but he's like, give me what you have because I have something greater for you. And it's like when you finally let go of those struggles, those depressions, those false gods, those idols, all of those anxieties, and you just let God take control, He's going to provide so much more. He's going to show you so much more because you're trusting Him. Not to say that it's going to be easy or that you're still not going to go through triumphs and struggles, because you will, as we still do. But it's different when you have God by your side and when you trust that the Lord is going to guide you through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's so different. Oh, I love it. I love his timing. I love talking about his timing.
Me too.
I love you, Jesus. It's just a good fascination because, you know, his timing. And it's kind of ironic because, like, yeah, like, so, like, I fully trust the Lord. And sometimes I find myself, like, giving him control of something and then kind of, like, taking it back when I don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I actually have a question.
Okay.
I'll, like, give him something. So, like, for example, like, the issues like with like my job right now,
Yeah.
right? I give it to him. I give him full control over it. I'm
Yeah.
like, Lord, like take control over it because
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it. You're the one that can do something about it. But then like I'll like continue. I'll be like, oh well, I'll just go in and I will talk to her about it. Would that be me taking back control?
It's you trying to,
Like
I would say.
I don't, because either way I have to go in and talk to her and let her know I'm home.
I think there's a boundary with giving God control and trying to take it back. Because if you literally lay everything down at his feet and you're like, Lord, this is not in my control. I don't want the control. This is all for your glory. And then he, in that moment, in that season that you're in, is telling you to wait or telling you to be patient, and you go and try to do it anyways, that's being disobedient. That is trying to take control back. But if during that season when you're praying and you're like, I need you to take control, and he's like, but I need you to take a leap of faith, and then you go do it, then it's like, okay, I'm being obedient to what you're saying. So I think it depends on your circumstance, whether you're trying to take control and what you're giving to the Lord.
Like, I struggle with controlling things because that's what I've known.
Yeah.
I've known that my entire life. I've
Mhm.
known, like, oh, I have to do this by myself. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
There you go.
Wait, no, because the
Light
Lord,
bulb.
the Lord just, like, okay,
Yeah.
so I didn't have to do any of the physical heavy lifting,
Yeah.
right? And that is me letting go of the control
Yeah.
because I was just letting him do it.
Yeah.
That is me letting go of the control, and that's what the Lord was teaching me. The Lord was teaching me that. The Lord was like, child, like, look at what he's doing. Now let me do that. Like,
Yep.
let me take control. Like, stop.
Like, let me take care of you.
Like, breathe. Like,
yeah.
I will, like, provide for you. And he proved that to me as well because, okay. So, when I was there, right, I was, financially, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And like in the middle of, it,
yeah,
my uncle was like, here, this is for helping with the ministry. And I took it as a blessing from the Lord, of course. It was all the Lord. And it was extra funds that helped me get through the rest of the month. And that was the Lord saying, I got you, child. Like, I am providing your way. Also with the car, before I left, I was like, Lord, like, I don't know, like, how I'm going to get around. Because I didn't want to be, like, a burden to, like, my uncle and ask him for his car or anything. I was
like, you know that sense of humor thing that we were talking about? It's almost like that, but he's like, instead of him being like, yeah, you thought, it's more like, yeah, now let me do the work.
Yes.
Now let me do the work.
Yes.
Let him cook.
Let him cook. I love that. I'm going to start using that. Yeah. Let him cook. Let the Lord cook.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start using that.
He is brewing you a nice coffee just the way you like it, sweetheart.
I love that. That's so true. Oh my gosh, thank you, Lord, for speaking to me. That's also crazy because I realize things when I start speaking. He brings revelations to me, and that's how I learn. I learn by speaking about something, and then more things will come up in my mind. Does that happen to you, or
sometimes
that happens to you?
It depends, but
that's
sometimes
that's how the Lord talks to me.
Yeah,
and that's
it's amazing, isn't it? He is just so good all the time.
You can't even explain the feeling to like someone that doesn't have Christ in their heart. It's just
get like, good, get God, get right.
Like, I'm telling you, like, he is the only way. If someone is listening that does not have Christ in your heart, he is the only way. He is the only way. Yes, you will have struggles. You will have struggles. But he is the person that will drag you out of those struggles. He will take you up from that hole that you're in, and he will rebuild. And there will be a struggle through it, yes. But after the struggle, there will be a field of flowers planted for you.
I love that. That's so good. That is so good. And you are so right. Because there are so many times, even in my life, where I also have a control issue. Because I'm like, I need these things and I need them now. I want to see what it is now. I need to know what it is now. Like, what do you mean? Like, why do I have to wait? Because he'll put me in a season of waiting when I need patience. You know what? You know what the funny thing is about God? I'll be like, it's all my fault too. Sometimes I'll be like, Lord, I need patience. I know I need patience. I know I need patience for that specific person, Lord. Help me to have patience. And then he'll put me through a test. And I'm like, I know this is a test, Lord. I'm probably going to fail it. And I'm going to have to be tested again. But like, okay. Here I go. So one thing that I really want to talk about is the toxic social media. I feel like a lot of teens and young adults will go to social media for that fulfillment. And the thing is, fulfillment will not come from your friends. It will not come from your family, relationships, alcohol, drugs. your phone, none of that will fulfill you. But you know what will? The Lord. Because His love is what fulfills you. Whether you're missing that earthly father, that earthly mother, or maybe a grandparent that was really close to you, like, the Lord's love is like no other. All right, friends, thanks so much for tuning in to our podcast, day number 1. I hope you enjoyed. And let us know down below or in our DMs what you would like to hear from us next.
And also, if you guys have any prayer needs, please leave a comment down below and we will pray for you always and we will give you continuous prayer. But if you do not feel comfortable leaving a comment down below, you can always DM us on any of our social media platforms and we will get back to you as soon as we can and of course pray for you.
We love you, but Jesus loves you more. Bye.
We did it!
Yeah! Ready? Wait, Goofy Goober, ready?
I'm a goofy goober! Wrong!